And for all our listeners, real quick, as we kind of close out this portion of the discussion, if what John just shared with us is not enough for you to act on those new processes, maybe in your business, here's maybe another thing just to note. In the state of California, there are 4 times as many attorneys that have practices focused on supporting the employee as there are attorneys supporting the organization. So that should tell you a lot about the way law works in the state of California.
Where the money is. Well, based on everything you've been sharing with us, John, it sounds like the prudent thing for anybody getting ready to either start a business or maybe buy a business from somebody else is to seek some kind of initial legal counsel that can help them evaluate what is in place or what is expected to be in place, and get a handle on where your exposure might pop up.
You know, you want to review what contracts, what agreements you have. Do you have the appropriate policies and procedures? You know, do you have employees? All of the different things, and are those processes set up? You know, if it doesn't have an HR department, you know, a lot of small businesses, you can't afford an HR department, right? But paying that money to an HR consultant to come through and make sure your payroll's right, make sure that your, you know, how that process is working as well, you know, have them come through as well. You know, I do it on my end, but I'm probably more expensive than an HR manager to come through. And I refer people out to HR managers, you know, all the time and say, hey, look, you know, talk to these individuals, have them go through your records, have them, you know, look at your payroll, those types of things, to make sure that you're compliant. And if you're not, fix it and then do your back pay or whatever it may be so that you become compliant. But yeah, it's a process of, if you're buying a business, you're starting a business, you need to make sure that you're compliant with all the things that you need to be, you know, with regard to the state of California and the particular laws and so forth.
Cool. Well, listen, John, thank you a lot for being on with us today, because a lot of times we kind of, in our normal conversations about, you know, business dilemmas, we tend to bump into some of these other, you know, professional areas that neither he or I have licenses in. So we have to be careful about, you know, what we actually tell people. So it's kind of nice to have somebody of your caliber on today to kind of fill in those gaps and give people some sage counsel about what they should be thinking about doing. So thank you for being on with us today.
Absolutely. And if I could leave people, if they remember one thing from this, I tell everybody, document. Yeah. Have your documents, have everything in writing, have your contracts, have your employee write-ups, have your policies and procedures, have all that stuff in writing, have all your agreements. And, you know, I've told people for years, you know, if whatever it is, if you have the documents to back up your stuff, you're in a much better spot.
Great. All right, folks, listen, thanks for being with us today. We, as always, we come out with brand new episodes every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So be around next week for another great episode. And again, John, thanks for being with us today. And hopefully if we run into some other really top quality specialists that have to do with business dynamics, we'll have them on for you soon. So take care. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you soon.